What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show.
So, when we thought, okay, we've had a lot of news happen in the previous week, especially Dwayne Johnson has come to try to take some of that news off our chest to go with going on with Cody and then the Seth thing, and then now it looks like we may be even getting a fucking tag team match. I don't know what the hell's happening. However, they said, hey, you can turn the volume down on the Vince McMahon stuff, but it ain't going off. Because
damn. That's such a wild way to put it. Accurate, but
yeah, it's not going off because People Power himself is throwing everybody under the Lex Express, okay? And that bus is riding over everybody because we got new stuff that came out this week, and it is about fallen wrestler Ashley Massaro. For those who don't know, Ashley Massaro was part of the Raw Diva search back in 2005. Then she won it, and then she picked it. Back during the Raw Diva search, which is, by the way, they never touched on that when they talked about the Ruthless Aggression documentary. I was wondering why they never did an episode. Dumb women had no experience.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say, Pearl?
I mean, a lot of them that was hired didn't, you know what it was hired.
Yeah, those women had zero wrestling experience at all. Actually, as I admitted, they had zero wrestling experience. They were just there to look good, and then they were just forced into wrestling stuff. And she wasn't the greatest wrestler because she wasn't trained to be, you know. And I mean, also, they threw her right into the WrestleMania with in a tag team match with Trish, didn't she? Or am I thinking something different?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm unsure. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of it right now. I don't know if it was WrestleMania. I can't remember. Well, Vice News, because they said anything Vince, we gonna report on it.
Yeah.
Anything.
There was cough to the 345.
It's a long statement, but I have the statement.
Okay. They had made. They talked about news of things that came out that was talking about Ashley and how she was assaulted at one of these Tribute to the Troop shows back in the day, back in 2005 or 6, I believe it was. And for those who don't know, Ashley was always not with us no more. She committed suicide in 2019, 10 days before her 40th birthday. Mm. So this woman has been in pain, and they have found some posts that was actually still on the website and of things that have happened, and actually documenting her experience over there as well. There was an affidavit. Explain to me, baby girl, how the affidavits work, so I could.
It's just like a sworn statement.
Yeah.
Basically, I can't give you like a full on breakdown right now, but yeah.
Which was okay. She said that the statement was given to her lawyers as they worked up a sworn affidavit published shortly after her death, in which she said she was raped on a military base while in Kuwait on the WWE tour. This is back when Tribute to the Troops was not just a SmackDown house show. Mm-hmm. This is back when Tribute to the Troops when they actually went over there in the battlefield, in the war zone, and you had wrestlers that was scared shit to the point like RVD was like, I ain't going over there.
Yeah.
No, I remember I was watching Pat McAfee. He said like 2 times they was over there. There was a war that started like right next to them, and they had to like move.
Yeah, it's just like, yo, this shit was. They say every time you hear them sirens, we got to get down. I'm like, what? Why am I here?
Why are we doing this? I mean, I know why we're doing this, but my God.
I would have just said like I was sick that day.
Act like I'm like, but I was fired.
I'm like, yeah, I got COVID. I can't come in. Like,
I got COVID in 2005. He'd be like, what the hell's that, pal?
Like you'll know it's gonna shut down your whole company for a minute.
That's not okay. Chill. I gotta get serious. So, the statement.
Okay.
You have it pulled up.
Okay, so I can. Let me see. I can talk about which one would you like me to read first? The portion of the statement alleging about the things about Vince, or you want me to read the portion of the statement where she was talking about she was assaulted?
Talk about the
really don't want to, but go ahead.
The one that she was the one that she was assaulted. I think I have the one pulled up where it talked about how Vince handled it.
Okay, the one that because I have. You know how you go into an article and you click and it takes you to another article about something else? Yeah. Okay. So this one's in the one that's on Vice where I'm at right now. Yeah. It starts talking about how she was assaulted while they were overseas.
Okay.
Okay. So they published in full the sworn affidavit. It's Massaro, right?
Yes.
Had signed in November 2017. In which she detailed oh my God. Get it together. Okay. Detailed the allegations about her rape and the WWE's response. You can read it in full here. In the affidavit, Massaro describes events that she says took place on the 2006 WWE tour. The year is incorrectly given as 2007 in the document. Yeah. Of U.S. military facilities in Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait, on which she and several other performers and staffers took part. None could be reached for comment, of course.
Of course it can.
Suffering from dehydration, the statement says she was taken to a military base where she was given an IV and left alone. After a couple of hours, a man representing himself as an army doctor and a woman in fatigue, she said, appeared, administered another IV, and took her to another room. Massaro, according to a source with knowledge, was taken to the Ali Al-Salim Air Base in Kuwait, where the clinic would have been staffed by Navy rather than Army personnel. This would explain why NCIS handled the case, even though Massaro said the rapist purported to be an Army doctor. The woman guarded the door, the statement says, while the man proceeded to inject me with a drug that caused me to be unable to move my body or to scream. The man then proceeded... Okay, I'm not going to read that part. Mm-hmm. He sexually assaulted her very brutally. She was completely helpless to defend herself against the attack, as the drugs injected rendered me temporarily paralyzed. Despite being unable to control my movements, I remained fully conscious for every second of the attack. Oh my God. Eventually, a WWE staffer began banging on the door, the man and woman covering her with a quilt, and left the room, and a staffer carried her away and bore her back to her hotel room. Mm-hmm. The sequence of events given in the statement, including Massaro falling ill, going for medical attention, and then being brought back to the hotel, is broadly consistent with the one described in a 2006 blog post published on WWE's website by Jimmy Hart, one of the performers on the tour. Massaro, the statement says, was not in the position to have a rape kit taken. I don't know what we can and can't say to be demonetized. But,
yeah, I got it. Don't worry about that.
And did not report the incident to authorities. She told fellow performers about what had happened, but told them not to report it to anyone. After she returned to the U.S., though, Ferdinand Rios, the WWE doctor, questioned her about the incident. She agreed to tell him what had happened as long as he didn't tell anyone else. Subsequently, though, the statement says he informed McMahon, and she was summoned to a meeting with McMahon, Laurinaitis, WWE production chief Kevin Dunn, and other men she didn't recognize but believed to be the company's executives or lawyers. Dunn, who left WWE last month after more than 40 years of serving as McMahon's loyal right-hand man, one of McMahon's loyal right-hand men, could not be reached for comment.
Yeah, that Lexus was.
A spokesperson for TKO did not provide contact information for a representative for Dunn when asked. Vince, the statement reads, led the meeting with these men and asked me to recount what happened in Kuwait. Then he said it was not in the best interest of the WWE for me to make the information about my attack public. I was still completely traumatized at that point, and I just agreed. It was clear that they had already had there had already been a conversation, and that they had reached a decision on their own prior to consulting with me, as this was not a debate, but rather Vince instructed me to keep this confidential. Vince did at least apologize for what I went through, but then stressed that if I disclosed this incident, it would ruin the relationship between the WWE and the U.S. military. He told me not to let one bad experience ruin the good work they were doing.
Jesus.
God, this man is so... Lord. I'm just finish the statement.
Yeah.
In a statement issued after the publication of the affidavit, WWE denied its claims. At the time was Vince McMahon or... At no time was Vince McMahon or the management of WWE ever informed by Ashley Massaro or anybody else that she had been sexually assaulted, drugged, R-word assaulted, or S-word assaulted by a military doctor with a nurse standing guard while on a goodwill tour in 2007 in U.S. military bases in Kuwait. At no time was there ever a meeting with Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, John Laurinaitis, or other company executives in which she told them of such a claim and was instructed to keep quiet. Excuse me, guys. According to what Laurinaitis says, which is corroborated by an interview given last fall by Rios, the doctor, that statement was not true. A TKO spokesperson declined to comment on whether WWE stands by its denial. So yeah, that is the...
I'm listening.
That I'm just going through the rest of this article. The rest of it is stuff that is in the other article I found that had the statement about the broad allegations that she had made about the Vince's behavior in the back with all of the...
Okay, because that's what I got pulled up before. I even tried to touch on that. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
Like, my God.
Under the jail.
Bruh, I think we're beyond that point right now, Q-Flow.
I think it's the upper room now.
It's above us now.
Ain't nobody going up.
The upper room.
I'm about to say, ain't nobody going up.
You gotta go up before you go anywhere else.
I'm about to say, the
upper room. He about to get an uppercut.
Yeah, I'm about to say, the soil getting soft. I'm telling you, y'all seen the movie Ghost? And when them things come down there to get you and drag you down there, I'm just saying burn. Because this thing is just...
I'm gonna be honest, I know this sounds super morbid, but I'd be really curious to hear what this man got to say on his deathbed. Like, I know, I'm not saying that.
I can almost 80% guarantee what Vince is going to say on his deathbed.
Fuck y'all?
No, he going to say... No, that's Tupac. He going to say... Life sucks. And
what deathbed?
You said what deathbed, bro?
Deathbed.
This man is outliving all of us.
Hole somewhere, bro.
He's outliving all of us. What are you talking about,
bro? I don't need Vince McMahon, Twinkies, cockroaches, and TNA to still be here.
Listen. Y'all hearing it here first. First of all, it's Black History Month. Ain't no white man outliving me. All right?
I'm sick.
If he is, I'm not admitting that in the month of February. All right?
I'm telling you.
Sojourner Truth. I don't know what you're talking about up here.
Oh, my God.
Right on, Q-Flow.
Throw his ass under the jail, bro. Firing squad. Something, bro. Something got to be done. This man need to be touched. He not God, bro.
He called. Look, I understand the frustration.
Sleeves, listen, bro. Sleeves need to be rolled up. Somebody got to run.
No, I mean, look, you not lying because we hear all these things about some of the controversy, man. But what makes this sad is because she's gone, and it ain't like she's gone because freak accident, heart attack, or old age. She's gone because she took her own life, and you can't help but to say. And I'm not gonna make no allegations of why it happened, but you can't help but to think that could this have played a part or a major part in that?
Maybe if she had been offered the help she needed instead of pressure into staying quiet, she may have been in a better mental space. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's not fair to make assumptions because you don't know what anybody's mindset is. But it's just the sheer lack of concern.
Exactly.
Just compassion, empathy, all the words you could think to describe some like what's needed to help somebody through a situation like that. And I don't know.
Concern. What's that?
You said what?
Concern. What's that?
Oh yeah. Oh, they got concerned. And you know what's still messed up? Like on WWE's site from 2006, they still have interviews about the stars going to Kuwait and stuff like that, and they have something that she written here. It was just like it breaks my heart because it says here, I haven't pulled up. Anything can happen going over to the Middle East, says Ashley. But my company takes care of me, and I trust them. I have full faith that I will come back exactly the way I left, if not a little bit better in my heart.
Okay, that's actually there. Let me go mute.
And I'm just like, God.
That's not funny, but that's just messed up. I'm like, why is that still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
All the people you could have got to say that line.
Yeah. But I'm just saying this is before this probably happened.
I know.
And then that shit happened. And then
I'm saying if it's before that happened, that was how long ago and they still ain't.
But y'all know now.
Yeah, y'all know. Y'all knew then when she reported it to y'all. So I'm saying like y'all know this can come up at any moment and y'all just like we just keep it.
And y'all definitely knew after, even if you tried to deny that you knew what happened. You definitely knew what she was alleging after the affidavit came out in 2017.
Yes.
I don't know.
And what was the article pulled up about when she was talking about, her time in WWE, when it was talking about Vince trying to write the promos for her?
Yeah, I have the full thing on here from Bleacher Report. So I'm going to scroll up to the top and see where I can start. Okay. It's part of a sworn affidavit. So the first thing I read was from Vice.
Yeah.
To cite your sources. Part of a sworn affidavit that was previously unreleased to the public until Friday. Late WWE star Ashley Massaro alleged that former WWE chairman and CEO Vince McMahon sexually harassed her and other female wrestlers. So the attorneys released I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Gotta get that out. Okay. Alright, it reads as follows. During my time with the WWE, I had observed Vince McMahon making out with other divas in the locker room, but he never paid attention to me, and I assumed I was not his type. This changed after my Playboy cover was released. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to fly on the company jet and stay at the same hotel as the executives for a period of time so I could get home faster to spend more time with my daughter. On one of those occasions, Vince was attempting to get me alone with him in his hotel room late at night, and I felt extraordinarily uncomfortable. He began calling the hotel room phone and my cell phone non-stop.
That's creepy.
I called then WWE's executive producer Kevin Dunn to explain the situation, and he said I should tell Vince I was not feeling well and would see him on TV the next day. So I did. Massaro went on to allege that after she rejected McMahon's advances, he purposefully sought to torpedo her WWE career, saying, immediately after that night, Vince started writing my promos for me. Because, sir, what? Vince does not write promos for female wrestlers. That is the job of the creative department, and he certainly wouldn't have, under any normal circumstances, written a promo for me. But he did, and the promos were written with the clear intention of ruining my career. I bought the first script Vince wrote for me to the WWE employee in charge of creative at the time, Michael Hayes, and he said, "You're not saying this. Who the bleep wrote this?" I don't know what the thing was. It's bleeped out. Mm-hmm. And I told him that Vince did. He said, "Well, kid, these are the breaks."
Wow.
Vince, meaning that Vince wanted to end my career and destroy my reputation on my way out. He is known for this type of behavior, as he also did this to, say name redacted, I'm not sure who she's referring to, upon her departure from WWE. In addition, after that night, each time I walked by him, he would make vulgar sexual comments that were clearly designed to make me uncomfortable. Okay, and this tells us about her making her debut and that she was on the cover of Playboy. Okay, it says, agree the statement should focus more on injuries she suffered during her time in WWE. Okay.
That's pretty much all of it, though, right?
I was waiting to see if there. I was trying to scroll through to make sure. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest is just telling about stuff that we already discussed, or things we had previously discussed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty much the end of this small snippet of the statement.
Yeah. You know, it's very unfortunate what happened to this woman. I hope. I really hope, because there's big chance that this all this stuff that's coming out and what's going to happen to gets settled out of court. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping this shit go to court. Like anybody that's like I want the law and everything to come down on this motherfucker. Big time.
But that's we gotta get there first because it's civil suit, not the same thing as filing a criminal suit.
Yeah.
So we gotta see what happens as a result of these investigations.
Yes, but of how I'm feeling in these reports and how people are turning on each other. No, this need to go to court. All that shit need to come down and get rid of all these people.
I do agree. It's a lot that needs to come out in the wash.
Yeah.
And so sorry. And it's just so unfortunate. Everything like that's I can't find the proper words to say how unfortunate is everything that she had to go through. Mm-hmm. And really just Mr. McMahon has to pay for his crimes, misgivings, all the things that he did.
We can say that motherfucker just ball him up with a ball. You know what I'm saying? And then just shoot on a double rim court. Just keep missing. That.
Karma waits for no one. He gonna get his. Somehow, some way. Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen.
Everything can't stay secret forever.
No, everything, all the stuff that all the old folks have always said to you really does happen. It was done in the dark, comes to light.
Yeah.
It's going to come out in the wash, all of that. This man has been doing dirt at this point for probably at least the last 40, 50 years. Maybe more. Mm-hmm. Because I wouldn't put it past him to have been a menace as a teenager, even though he wasn't technically famous yet.
Well, I mean, he comes from an abuse past. Also, he was assaulted, but still, these incidents that happen to these children grow up to become these monsters.
Yeah, and it's like, but the problem is you can't just. As someone who watches true crime a lot, you can tell someone's backstory and say, listen, they had an abusive childhood. He went through this, that, and the third. But it's never a free pass just to go and do something like that and pass your trauma on to somebody else.
You're right.
That's horrible. Right. And honestly, it's like, sir, a trash human being. And more stuff comes out. And that's the thing. The one thing about this case that I don't want to say glad because glad's not the right word.
Yeah.
But the one thing about this case that is interesting to see, it can't be. Folks love to get upset when more than one victim comes out and they're like, it's the pile on. Everybody want to claim that something happened. Blah blah blah. These things are allegations that were brought up long ago. Mm-hmm. And this is not the first and won't be the last of allegations from a long time ago. It's not just people coming out and saying, oh, well, it happened to me too, and blah, blah, blah. And even if that was the case, if he really did it, then he needs to face the consequences for that.
Yes.
But seeing all this stuff come back up where it's like, y'all, the call's been coming from inside the house this whole time and nobody was paying attention kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
We probably didn't want this,
They didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's very sad. It's very heartbreaking. And I'm with Q. Like, under the jail, burned. It don't matter. The man has to be erased from existence. Okay.
Like, we really need to, like, Salem witch hunt or something, bro. Like, the Vince witch hunt or something. Like, burn at the stake. Something gotta happen, man. He needs to be made an example of.
Yeah, and it's.
I don't know, man.
No, it's okay to feel the feelings because, you know, especially when you read stuff like that, you just be like, you just make you uncomfortable. You know, if you have a heart, it just make you uncomfortable. You know.